Welcome back, everyone. This is day 8 of our banking domain technical business analyst series. So, yesterday we learned how do you do data mapping. So, how business data travels through front-end, back-end databases. So, today we are going to level up because now we'll talk about something every BA must master, but most beginners skip non-functional requirements. So by the end of the session, you will know. Okay, let me add this one. Um, what is functional requirement in the short form? I'll write NFRs and why they are important as functional requirement. So why they are important as functional requirements. And there were 7 key type of NRFs, non-functional requirements. The 7 key type of NRFs and how to write them as a user story. As a user story. How to discuss them in PBR. I'll just short form PBR. And how to answer interview question on this topic. Okay. Interview. How to answer in questions on this topic. Okay. Let's understand what is non-functional requirement. Okay. And also let's make it super simple, this one. So when you say functional requirements, we mean what the system should do, right? Functional requirements. So when we say non-functional requirement, we mean how well the system should do it, right? So functional, what the system should do. Non-functional, how well system should do it. So here is an example. Functional, the system allow the users to apply a loan. That's a functional requirement. Non-functional, the system should load the loan page within 2 seconds. This example for a non-functional requirements. So you see the difference, right? One is about functionality, the other is quality, right? So this is functionality, this is the quality. So you can think of non-functional requirement as the personality of your system, right? So let me write here. So this one, the action. Okay, this is the personality, right? So the system action is functionality or functional. Non-functional is the personality, right? So kind of, is it fast? Is it secure? Is it always available? Is it easy to use? That's what all about non-functional requirements define. Okay. So the 7 key type of non-functional requirements. Okay, first one is let's go through the 7 most important non-functional requirement categories. So every BA should know. Okay, the first one is um, performance. For example, speed. Um, how fast does the system respond? This is the question you can ask during your PBR. If you are capturing, you can include this question in your user story. If you are developing technical like API, backend user stories, right? It's performance. How fast the systems should respond. The second one is scalability. So scalability is, can the system handle more users or transactions as it grows, right? Example, system can support, for example, system can support 10,000 active users. Okay, so now handle, that's the scalability. So next one is availability. So how often is the system up and running? How often is the system up and running, right? So example, for example, system should run 99.9%. It's not possible 100%. There we go, per month or something like this. Okay, so next one is security. What does it mean, security? How safe is user data? That's the security. How safe is user data? Remember, when we send external data to credit union, we say encrypted, right? Those kind of thing. Security. All password must be stored in an encrypted format. Personal PI data should be masked, something like that, right? Next one, reliability. Usability. So usability is the system easy to use and understand? Ease of use. Example, user should be able to complete registration in less than 3 steps, something like that. Okay. So next one is reliability. So reliability is the system behave consistently under normal condition, right? Example, system should process transaction without data loss. System should process transactions without data loss. Okay. And maintainability. So how easy to fix or update the system? Example, code changes should be deployed with minimal downtime. When you document requirements, adding non-functional requirements turns your user story from average to professional, right? So you can have these 7 questions. Like you can create a user story template, right? So when you start a requirement, uh, maybe you can include like non-functional requirement during your PBR. You can check, okay, is there any performance we need to take care of this one? How about the scalability, availability, security, usability? So you can just simply ask the T so that you can mark your checklist. Okay. So now let's go back to we talk about the examples. So our case study, next one. Case study, we are going to take the same example, our loan application. Okay. So functional requirement. Remember, if you remember our functional requirement, uh, as a user. So this is our, just to remind you, okay, I want to, what we did, apply, right? Apply for a loan online so that I can complete my application digitally. Okay, so this is our requirement. So now how do you write non-functional requirement for this one, right? So let's take our 7 key non-functional. So performance. So let's write performance. I think one by one we will write like this: scalability, availability, and security, and user, okay, usability, and reliability, and maintainability. Okay. Okay, so these are our 7 non-functional requirements. So what should we write? Let's write this one quickly. System should load the loan form within 2 seconds. Okay, so for the scalability, if you are writing system should handle 500 concurrent loan applications. So if you are wondering who can give you this one, so yeah, definitely you need to talk to your engineer manager, solution architect, yeah, your tech lead, right? So this business won't give you. You need to work with your technical partners. Okay, so system should all business want to make it quick and fast. 9.99% uptime during business hours. Okay, for the security, you can write sensitive data like SIN, it can PI data, personal information, right? Details must be encrypted during transaction. session and storage. Okay. Usability, same example we can take. User should be able to complete the application in less than 5 or whatever steps you need. Okay. System must not, for the reliability, system must not lose data if the user session expires. It should persist. Okay. Maintainability. Developer should be able to update interest rate formulas without system downtime. Okay. Okay. So that's how you think a non-functional requirement to a real business case. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now let's write a user story for this one. How we can write a user story for this example? Okay. So let's go back to Jira. No drawing diagram today. Let's create a user story here. So I will write the title so that you know how to write NRF non-functional requirement as a user stories. So that's our title. Okay. So we can start with as a user. So let me write as a user. I want my dashboard to load something, whatever your page, your dashboard, with 2 seconds, so that I can view my loan details quickly. So this you can capture during your requirement gathering. Okay, so you can write something like that. So if you want to write quick acceptance criteria for this one, okay, so dashboard API should respond within, so let's write dashboard API should respond within 2 seconds under concurrent requests. Okay, and average response time must remain 3 seconds for 95 of users, something like this. Okay, or you can write one more style. I can show you. So another one. Okay, so another style you can write as a system administrator. I want user password encrypted so that customer data remains secure. Okay, something like this you can write. So acceptance criteria for this one. Oh, what's happening here? Let's insert bullet password must be let's write hashed using some SHA-256 algorithm. So you can talk to your tech lead so they can help you. Okay, don't worry if you don't know this one. So you can simply write password should be masked or hashed or whatever you like. Data should be only be transmitted via HTTPS. Okay, writing them like this help your dev team and QA team include them in their test plans, right? So now let's save this one. Let's go back to our product backlog. Let's refresh this one. Okay, so we have our user story ready here. So what questions can we ask? Like what question they might ask you, right? They can ask, what is the expected load on this page, right? So that's the question you can ask. How many concurrent users are we targeting, right? So these questions you can ask. So let me put it in the user story. So this can be your checklist. You don't need to put it in the user story, but maybe your notes section can have your documents. You can you can have it in user story. Then you can ask this question and you can mark it up or strike out if it is not applicable. So let's put all the what questions we can ask. What is the expected load on this page? Okay, so that's the first question you ask. How many concurrent users are we targeting? Okay, one more question. What is the acceptable response time? You can ask this question during your PBR. Are there any encryption? Oh, sorry, what happened to this one? Let me write again. Are there any encryption or security needs? Okay, So developers may estimate higher story point if performance or security is involved. Okay, and that's normal. So non-functional requirement often take extra effort, right? So it's not something straightforward like functional requirement. So for example, adding caching, security tokens, or sorry, stress testing might increase story from 3 to 5 points. So when you participate in estimated session, always bring up a non-functional expectation as well. Okay, so this will help testers and developers. Okay, so let's uh, estimate this one, 5 user story points. Okay, 5. Okay, so that's all about non-functional requirements. Now, time for check our knowledge. Okay, so what do non-functional requirements describe? B, how well the system performs. Remember, that's a quality, right? Personality. So, in a non-functional requirement is define how well a system performs, its quality attributes, sorry, not the functionality itself. So, always remember non-functional requirement, quality attributes. Okay. Which of the following is non-functional requirement? C, right? Loan page should load within 2 seconds. The page load time is quality performance requirement, so not functionality. So number 3, functional versus non-functional difference. Functional, what system does, non-functional, how well it does, right? So functional features, non-functional performance, quality, usability. Number 4, supporting 500 concurrent user is an example of what? Scalability, right? Measures how a system handle growth in load of users. Question number 5, storing user password securely is an example of obviously security. Protecting sensitive data is a security requirement. Question number 6, system should be available 24/7 refers to, of course, availability, right? So availability measures uptime, ensuring the system is operational when needed. So question number 7, system should recover automatically after a crash is about. So reliability ensures the system behaves correctly under the feature or stress. Question number 8, user should complete registration in 3-step relates to usability, right? So usability ensures the system is easy and intuitive to use. Okay, question number 9, which is not a non-functional requirement. User can update address, right? So this is direct to the feature, right? The updating an address functional. What is the system does, not how well its performance. So last question, when should non-functional requirements be discussed, right? After deployment? No, right? During PPR, we should discuss. So non-functional requirements should be identified and discussed during backlog refinement to influence estimation, design, and testing. All right. Okay, so let's learn what are the question we can how to answer question related to non-functional requirements. Okay. The first question, uh, the standard one, tell me about the time you gathered non-functional requirements for a project. So you can include your project here, So for example, the banking project to implement an online loan application. So task was the ensure the system performed well under heavy load, secured and sensitive data. So I interviewed stakeholder to capture expected response time, uptime, and security measures, then documented them in the user story. You can use as it is. So the system met performance goals, processed 500 concurrent requests smoothly, and passed security audits, right? Um, so next question, how do you validate performance or scalability requirements without coding? So new dashboard feature needed to support multiple users. Okay. So ensure response times and systemic scalability are defined clearly. So you can use that 7 quality attributes in your user story, right? So you can ask that question um, in your user story. You can ask one by one. So work with QA and developers to define acceptance criteria for load and response time. Reviewed non-functional requirements in backlog refinement. Right, so this what happened. Verified that under 200 concurrent users, response time remain under 2 seconds. Okay, so you can increase the load and you can test this one. So what is the biggest mistake BAs make regarding non-functional requirements? Observed previous project delays due to non-functional requirements. Identify potential gaps in requirement documentation. So this is a kind of a negative question, so you have to answer carefully, okay? Ensured every functional story had associated non-functional requirements for performance, reliability, and security. So they just want to know, are you aware about non-functional requirement? Okay. Reduce, rework, improve system quality, and delivered a smoother user experience. So you can just have a user story template. So every time you create a user story, just copy the non-functional requirement asked during the PBR. If not applicable, just cross it out. So how do you document non-functional requirements in user stories? Example like loan module development requirement fast and secure processing. Ensure developers understand the required quality standards. Added non-functional requirements are as separate acceptance criteria in the user stories, including metrics like response time, uptime, and encryption standards. Okay, so what's the result? The developers and testers were aligned, reducing defects and clarifying expectations. Okay, so the last question, how do non-functional requirements affect estimation and backlog refinement? So the banking system upgrade involving multiple concurrent users, so estimate story points accurately considering system quality requirements. So you can mention something like that. Discuss non-functional requirements during PBR with developers or document in the user story. Factor in extra effort for performance optimization and testing. So story points reflected real effort, sprint planning was accurate, and delivery met performance expectation. Okay, um, that's it. So let's capture what you can include um, in your resume, right? So let's note down what you can include in your resume under, so maybe you can write add this under your skills section. Okay, uh, non-functional requirements, so you can mention this one in your section like performance scalability, and let's say here scalability, security, availability. Okay, so this you can mention under your skill section and something like that. Experience defining non-functional, or you can write like this: short form NFRs in banking and financial applications. So based on your project, you can write this one. You can write collaborated with dev teams, so they mean development teams, okay? Teams for performance and usability improvement. Or you can, there are some security teams are there, or separate performance testing teams are there, so you work them to provide requirement, or write a help for testing increase load or something like that, right? So you can mention your experience. LinkedIn update also, you can write something like that. You learn non-functional requirement, understand how fast and secure reliable banking system. So you can write something like that. Similar thing you can capture in your LinkedIn also. So as a business analyst, you don't need to code. So you just need to capture during your PPR. Okay, that's it for today, day 8. So what's coming up? Oh, sorry, I didn't include. Okay, let me provide you what is coming for tomorrow. Okay. So now you know how to define how well your system should work, not just what it should do. The non-functional requirements will make your user story stronger and your project more realistic. Okay. So what's coming up? Coming up next, which is our day 9. We can discuss rest all technical concept, right? Remaining technical concepts and system performance, like performance when I'm mentioning topics, we can include like latency, concurrency, it's kind of a non-functional requirement, system bottlenecks. Okay, so these kind of things you can speak tomorrow. Okay, so then you can sound like confident in every sprint discussion. Okay, so then see you tomorrow. Thank you everyone, have a good day.